Hi guys, I'm Sonya. For those of you who are new to my channel, Sonya Sketches It, welcome. To those of you who saw my previous video, thanks for coming back. In this video, I just wanted to talk about my process a little bit and tell you about some of the goings on in my creative journey. My dream as an artist is to be a children's book illustrator. With that as my ultimate goal, I'm taking small steps every day to get there. My priority at the moment is grounding my art style to build a strong, consistent portfolio for kids' literature. And October is packed full of art challenges. This gives me plenty of opportunities to work on my skills and refine my style. That brings me to this illustration. I found that I can make more interesting concepts when presented with a goal or direction in mind. So I take a few different prompts from various art challenges. I even have a method to this that I'll touch on later in the video, and combine them to make a single concept. The primary prompt here is a curiosity cabinet for Magictober, hosted by 3 Leaves Artwork. This subject made adding additional prompts quite easy. You'll see spiders as the prompt for Inktober, some stars and the moon for the Cosmos prompt from Peachtober, some herbs hanging in the top left cabinet for Mellowtober, and some mushrooms in the bottom right cabinet for Beartober. I'll include hashtags and names of the hosts for these art challenges in the description. Once I have a concept in mind, I start the sketching process. Sometimes I will draw a few different concepts before deciding on which one to finalize, but most of the time I end up going with my initial sketch. As I mentioned before, I'm working on refining my art style, so I gathered a few different brushes that I commonly use into a single collection in an attempt to achieve a more consistent look across my illustrations. I use the Peppermint pencil brush for sketching and very fine details. I use the dry ink brush and Gouache Painty Round brush for solid shapes and small details. The Gouache Painty Round brush is part of a set that I purchased. It was created by Bardot. You can find some amazing brush packs on her website, Bardot Brush. She also has an art movement called Making Art Every Day that's very interesting, and it's quite inspirational. It definitely helps with making art an everyday, consistent habit or activity. So if you haven't checked her out before, I highly suggest it. A few of my texture brushes are also from packs that I purchased from Bardot Brush, including the marker tip brush and the wood texture brush. I started this illustration on a 4000 by 4000 pixel canvas. Using my sketch as a reference, I block in the largest shape, which in this case is the cabinet. From there, I start to block in all of the smaller shapes in the different cubbies of the cabinet. Once all of my shapes are blocked in, I start to add the texture. I typically start with adding a darker texture across all of the shapes, and then move on to adding highlights to all of the shapes. Once I refine the shadows and highlights a bit, I move on to adding some small decorative details. I love adding the small flowers and dots and sparkles and little stars around the plants and leaves. If you've seen any of my art, you've probably noticed that I almost always include leaves or a plant of some kind or little stars where I can. One of my biggest obstacles that I'm currently working on is color. Although I love the sketching process, I always seem to have difficulty adding color. I struggle with creating a consistent or harmonious color palette. However, I really like how the muted colors and lower saturation of this illustration ended up working together. I even saved it for future use during this month's art challenges, and I named it Cabinet of Curiosities. Now before I end this video, as I mentioned before, I have a method to my madness. I use a journaling app called Zinnia, which I'll include a link in the description so you can check that app out. I use this app to plan and organize all of my art prompts. This video is not sponsored by Zinnia, but I just wanted to share how helpful and efficient it can be. Zinnia offers a ton of stickers, washi tapes, templates, and even pre-designed journals. This makes it easy to quickly create and organize multiple journals, or you can just start from scratch, just a blank page. Create your own journal from the first page to the end. I like to plan out my choices of art prompts for the week, as well as keep a visual calendar of my Instagram posts. This helps me to be more consistent with posting my content. Zinnia is a subscription-based app, but they offer a small yearly fee option, which is what I personally use. Thanks for sticking around. If you actually made it to the end of this video, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this video to be informative and maybe even inspirational. Please feel free to post questions or comments. You can find more of my work over on Instagram. I also have my own site with a page that has all of the links to my social platforms as well as my shop. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video and that you'll come back for future content. Until next time.